Hey guys, welcome to our first Macroeconomics 2 workshop presented by the UNSW Economics Society. Today we'll just be going through some questions and showing you how to approach them to get the most marks in your midterms that are coming up. There will be 2 true and false questions and 2 short answers for the unemployment and Solus 1 growth model topics. Feel free to pause this video and try to work on your own and hit the resume button to see how we work the problems out. Remember, for any false statements, provide a brief explanation. Question 1. True or false? The Cobb-Douglas production learned in class is given by y equals a times k to the power of a third times L to the power of 2/3. The exponents, a third and 2/3, are arbitrary. The answer is false. The exponents correspond to shares of income going to capital and labor, respectively. Question 2. True or false? The Solus 1 model explains more of the difference in growth observed between countries than the simple model of production. False. It actually explains less. Total factor productivity accounts for a larger share of difference than capital, investment, and labor. Question 3 is about unemployment. Please pause the video and work on these questions by yourself. Question 3. Part 1. What is the natural rate of unemployment? It is structural unemployment, which is caused due to a mismatch of skills that workers in the economy can offer and the skills demanded of workers by employers, plus frictional unemployment, which is just unemployment when people are transitioning between jobs. Part 2. Does unemployment insurance decrease or increase the natural rate? So, unemployment insurance gives the insured the incentive to stay unemployed longer since they're receiving a benefit, leading to an increase in the natural rate of unemployment due to structural changes. Part 3. Suppose the amount of money a person receives when they are on unemployment insurance increases. What effect would this have on the labor supply graph? There are potentially many correct answers to this question. The most straightforward, though, is to assume the more people decide to remain unemployed for longer at given wage rates. Therefore, they supply less labor and the labor supply curve shifts inward, as shown in the graph. Top tip: when a question can be answered in multiple ways, it is imperative to define what you're assuming, so make sure you write it down in the test. Question 4. Please pause this video now. Part 1. Define in words what equation 2 means. The ratio of labor at time t plus 1 to labor at time t equals 1 plus n just means that the population is growing at a rate of n%. Question 4, part 2. Divide equation 1 by labor at time t and use equation 2 to express the capital accumulation equation in per worker variables. So for this question, the trick is to recognize labor at time t plus 1 divided by labor at time t plus 1 is just 1, and use it to manipulate the equation. So the first line is just dividing your normal capital accumulation equation by labor at time t, asked by the question. Next, we use our trick and multiply the left-hand side by labor at time t plus 1 divided by labor at time t plus 1. Now, we just swap the denominators of our fractions so we can use equation 2. Now, recognizing that capital divided by labor is just level capital per worker, as denoted by the lowercase k, we get the given equation. Part 3. Now substitute in the production function into your answer for part 2 and calculate the steady state for capital. How does the steady state of capital depend on 1 plus n? So this question is asking about the steady state of capital. Remember, this is the long-run equilibrium of the economy, where the amount of savings per worker is just sufficient to cover the depreciation of the capital stock per worker. We just continue from the expression we got from part 2, just adding on an asterisk on K to show we're talking about the steady state. The next steps taken are just solving to make capital per worker the subject of the equation. Firstly, we divide by K. Next, we shift 1 minus delta to the left-hand side. Now simplifying this and dividing by SA, we get n plus delta over SA, which is equal to capital to the power of negative 2 over 3. To make K the subject, we just take the power of negative 3 over 2. Noting that anything to the power of negative 1 just flips the fraction. We get K is equal to SA divided by n plus delta to the power of 3 over 2. As we want steady state of capital, not capital per worker, we just multiply both sides by labor at time t. Noting that labor at time t is just labor at time 0 growing at a rate of 1 plus n for t years, we get given the line. What this actually means is that there is no steady state in capital. There is only a steady state in the capital per worker. Capital in this model actually grows at the rate of 1 plus n. Therefore, capital and labor grow at the same rate, and their ratio is constant over time. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck for your midsems. Don't forget to tag your macro 2 friends down in the comments below, and watch out for our next video coming up.